Hello and welcome to the Playbook 11 podcast, ahead of the 2025 Indian Premier League clashes between the Gujarat Titans and Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals and the Sunrisers. We're here to preview the Dream 11 contest to help you win some cash. I'm your host, Tim Williams. Here with me, as always, former New Zealand international turned star IPL commentator Simon Doull. Dawley, how are you, mate?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, just a quick trip to the first week of the IPL back in the UK for a new baby, and then I'll be back around about the 4th, 5th, 6th of next month to cover some more IPL, but still watching it, mate.
Dead set, mate. You'd have more frequent flyers than a Qantas pilot, I reckon.
I'm up there. I'm up there.
Also with us today, Cricket Australia commentator Max Bryden. Maxie, how are you?
G'day Timo, g'day Jules, man. I'm doing very well. Super excited for the tournament so far. Geez, there's been some runs scored. So hoping I have to pick. Normally love picking bowlers in these types of contests, but I think when it comes to the IPL, it's really just kicked off where it left off last year. So I might be looking for a couple of bats in our teams.
Good to see our boy Travie Head off to a flyer, as expected from everyone. Well, our boy Dooley's a Kiwi, so maybe a little bit harsh on him. I won't throw you under the radar.
Well, Ravindra's doing all right too, isn't he?
Yeah, you're going okay.
For a little bit of context about myself, I'm a fantasy sport expert based out of Australia for over a decade of experience working in fantasy sport analysis. And what is Playbook 11 here to do? Basically, guys, we're here to provide expert Dream 11 analysis across the 2025 Indian Premier League tournament. We began our previews across the Australian sun with plenty of success across the Australia v India Test Series and Big Bash League. Now we want to do the same with the IPL. If you enjoy the show, guys, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree with our selections. Let us know about it. But let's get into the first contest for today, and it is the Titans versus Mumbai. Predicted teams. Dooley, how do you see the Titans lining up for this one?
Yeah, it's Gujarat Titans. You look at Shubman Gill all the way at the top. He's obviously their chief man, main man in the side. The last game, I just looked through their lineup for the last game, and I can't see, what I'm thinking. If the team's good enough for the first game, it's going to be good enough for the second game. So you got Sai Sudarshan at the top, who I really really like. Gill, Butler, Shafane Rutherford, Tuatia, who's sort of in and around the mix. Shah Rukh Khan. Arshad Khan. You've got Sai Kishore, the left arm spinner, Rashid, Rabada, Siraj, and Prasid Krishna was the 12 that they used. I don't see that changing too much for the second game. As I say, if it's good enough for team game one, good enough for game two.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, mate. And what about for Mumbai? How do you see them lining up for this?
Yeah, well, they're going to welcome back the skipper. Obviously, missed the first game through suspension after last year, Hardik Pandya. So he will come back into the side. I'm thinking he comes in for Robin Mins. Mins is a keeper batter, but obviously didn't keep because Rickleton kept in the last one. So you're thinking about the Mumbai lineup. One they had against CSK, Rohit, Rickleton, Will Jacks, Sky. Tilak Varma, Mins will be out, I think, for Hardik Pandya. And then Namandir, Santner, Deepak Chahar, Trent Bolt, and Raju down the bottom will be very much the way they line up. I think the same.
Love that, mate. And we know that in terms of, when you're selecting your Dream 11 lineup, the importance of assessing the deck, what that wicket is going to do. Do we favour batsmen, bowlers? How do you see the deck playing in this one?
Yeah, well, Underbad, I mean, the first game up, well, we have 243 played 232. It has been a pitch that has always favoured the sides batting second, gets very dewy in Underbad, skids on nicely under lights. There's been plenty of games there won by the chasing side. So keep an eye out for the toss. Maybe stack your team a little bit more with the batters post toss of the second team. That sort of seems to be the way to go. And if you're going to pick some spinners, make sure they're in the lineup that is bowling first, would be my two little suggestions from a surface point of view. The ground is a great size. It's the biggest ground in the country, and it does aid the spinners a little bit from a dimension point of view as well.
Batters in the second innings, spinners in the first innings. Take note, Dooley has spoken. Maxi Bryden, the stats that matter for this contest. What have you found for us?
Got three for you. Got three for you today, guys. So the first one is 180, which was the strike rate by Sai Sudarshan. In the first game for the Gujarat Titans this season, he smashed 74 or 41, significantly above his career strike rate in the IPL of only just 140. So potentially we're looking at a batsman who's taken the next step up. and ready to be selected in your Dream 11 team as a real point of difference. The next number, 232, which was the amount of runs that the Gujarat Titans scored in their first game, which was a loss. And I just feel like, Aussies, we watch a lot of the BBL. If someone's scoring 232 runs, it's almost going to be an investigation into the curators and what they've been doing. But to score that in a losing side, it just shows they've got a little bit of firepower, maybe a little bit more work to do with the ball. And the final number for this one is the number 0. Douls, I wonder if you'll guess where this one's from, but it's actually the amount of runs that Rohit Sharma scored in the first match for the Mumbai Indians. Much has been made of his form over the last 12 months. In particular, we saw during the Border Gavaskar Trophy, it's a different format, of course, but he made himself unavailable for that final test match. His run scoring in the Champions Trophy, albeit he did go over 50 once, he only went over 20 just twice. So as much as he's got the pedigree, he's got the name, he's going to come at a high price in these Dream 11 contests. I feel like there's a really good opportunity to go against Rohit Sharma just based on his current form line, and that's the stats that matter.
Love it, Maxi. Off to a hot start for the season. Yeah, we love going against a highly owned player, a point of difference player. Now, boys, let's get into the stuff that does matter, not just the stats that matter, and that is our Dream 11 team selection. I've got it under control here, but you two are the masterminds behind this. So if I think you're out of line or you've said something ludicrous, I'll let you know and I'll change it because I have the ultimate power, but I am going to trust your expertise on this one. Boys, let's start with the wicket keepers. And Dooley, I'll start with you, mate. Of the wicket keeper options, Butler, we've got Rickleton, probably absolutely the main two here. Do we want them both? Do we want one of them? What are we feeling?
I absolutely want them both. Both at the top of the order. Both keep wickets, so catches, runs, and if you're going to bat anywhere in T20 cricket, I want both those guys on my side at the top of the order. Maxi, tell me you can't have them.
No, I think you have to. Two world-class players and two guys that I think we have to put in our team.
We love going against a highly owned player, but it will not be starting at the wicket keepers for this contest because they're too good to pass up. Boys, moving on to the batting lineup, an easy one there. And Dooley, let's go there. Of course, you mentioned there Sharma. Sharma's at 70% selection for this one. Shubman Gill, he's at 93% selection. There's some very highly owned players, but who are the ones that catch your eye here, Dooley?
I've got three batters I think that I really like, and this is probably a discussion point with Maxi. I really like Shubman Gill. I mean, I know he's high ownership, but at home, great record in Ahmedabad, so I want him in my side. Sai Sudarshan, who Maxi mentioned, I've got a lot of time for this lad. He's a terrifically talented player. The other one I'll throw at you is Tilak Varma. He will bowl a few overs if he has to, and I think he's one of the better young players in the Indian middle order. So the other three I'd really like in from a batting point of view. Maxi, have you got any thoughts on those three or outside of those three?
No, Douls, I think you took the players right out of my mouth. You know that I love an all-rounder as well, particularly a guy that we can get into our batter slot. So that's why I liked Varma. And as I mentioned before, very happy to go against Rohit Sharma. It's really tough going against Sky because we know his potential when he's absolutely at his peak. But just playing a little bit later down the order, look, there's a chance you could go him if they do bat second, but I really do like Gill, and I like Varma. So I'm happy to follow you in.
Yeah, Varma at 67% selection, 67 points in the opening game. All three of those players scored quite well in their opener, so we'll lock them in for the time being. And as we said, if we can get a bloke who can roll the arm over, bowl a few overs, available in the batting slot, then yeah, that's gold for us Dream 11 players. Boys, what about the all-rounders? We've got Pandya there at 46% selection, Mitch Santner at 33 there, Dooley. They're the obvious ones. Will Jacks at 81% selection. He's the big boy in this one. Who do we like?
I like Hardik and I like Santner, Maxi. I mean, I just think the big ground might suit the spin of Mitch Santner. He didn't have his best game in the first one up, but Hardik coming back in, he's got a point to prove after missing the first one, and I like Mitch Santner as well.
Is that do we have some Kiwi bias there, Dooley? How do you go?
Absolutely. Yeah, huge amount of bias. But I also think and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's one of the best finger spinners in the white ball game at the moment. Showed that through the Champions Trophy.
Yeah, mate, hard to argue here. Maxi, let's go to you, mate. We need to balance this out. Is Dooley on the money? You happy to go with him? Are you against him? What are you feeling?
Well, first, let's talk about Hardik. I think his ownership's so low just based on the fact that he missed that first game through suspension. So people have kind of not awoken to the fact that he's back. and I think you have to pick him as well.
Mhm.
Bowls quick, smacks a big ball, and also just he puts himself on to bowl the big overs, which we absolutely
Yeah.
love. I think with Santner, I really love him. I think he's had a really fantastic 12 months as well. We all know what he did in the Test series over in India, and I'm sure that was a big reason why he's so popular at the moment in this tournament. But left arm orthodox spinners, do they take that many wickets in T20 cricket? Maybe the IPL is different. I know around the world that traditionally it's not their strong suit. The other guy that I have a bit of an interest in is Will Jacks. He's a player with a lot of potential, and when it really clicks for him, I think he can go big. Also, I'm not sure if he bowled in the first game, but it just offers that little bit of variation as well with his off spin. So I'd love to have a look his way. What do you think, Tools?
Yeah, don't mind that at all, mate. I've got another left arm spinner in my sort of potential lineup here as well. So I don't mind leaving Santner out and giving Jacks that option. Bat at the top of the order, will bowl some overs. If you look through the opposition side, left-handers, reasonable amount. So yeah, don't mind that. He will get a bowl.
All right, so we have a decision to make here, boys, and let's look at the selection. So Santner's at 33%, and we've got Will Jacks at, what did I say, 81% selection, both at 7.5 crores. So price-wise, there's no difference there. What are our confidence levels? Maxi, are you confident enough to go with someone highly owned over Mitch Santner? Do you want to pull a bit of rain here? And I'm happy to give it to you if you want to do it.
Look, let's lock him in. It's hard to go against
All
Dools and
right,
his Kiwi bias, so let's lock him
he's in.
in.
All right, he's in. Okay.
He's in. I like it.
I love the
Boys.
ownership. The ownership's the thing that gets me across the line.
All right,
Okay.
boys. And what about our bowling lineup? Obviously, the big ones there. Rashid Khan at 65%. Oh, I don't mind that at all. Rabada at 41%. Trent Boult, my favourite player in world cricket, Dooley. I love everything about this man, from his speed to his attitude to his ability to score shit runs at the end of the innings and laugh every time he edges one through the gap between second and third slip. I love the bloke. Who do we like here, Dooley?
I love Rabada. Absolutely love Rabada. I like Deepak Chahar. He swings the ball up front. He gives you really good options. He'll generally bowl three inside the power play with that new ball if it's going well. He can pick up wickets, got a habit of picking up wickets. So I love Rabada. I love Chahar. I've got a lot of time for Trent Boult, but I don't want to get my Kiwi hat on too much on this podcast. So I'll leave another one or two up to Maxi, but I'm a big fan of Rabada and Chahar.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to put the Kiwi hat on for you, mate, and get Trent Boult if we can get Maxi Bryden over the line. Maxi, who do you like here? We've got Rabada, Chahar. What are your thoughts? And anyone you want to add to that or go against Maxi?
I love those two. I think the thing I love about Bolt and Tim, just to make you fangirl even more about him, is he seems to really go to another level when he pulls on that Mumbai Indians jersey. And it doesn't matter if he's playing in the IPL or different tournaments around the world. There's a reason they've got him signed up to that seemingly perpetual contract to play in different tournaments. So I feel like he's in for a big one. We know that bowlers they're going to be. It's tough going. It's a real point of difference if they do actually go out there and take wickets. So I think I want to look in Bolt. Also, I'm interested in Rashid Khan because vice captain of this Gujarat Titans side, he seems to bat a lot lower than he does that we're used to in the BBL. We can bat as high as number 8 or number 7. Jules, what do you think about the wrist spinner in this one?
Yeah, he struggled the other night. Wall was a little bit damp when he had to bowl, obviously, and it just didn't quite get it right. But very rarely does he go two games, without taking wickets. So I'm happy to have him. He's an absolute gun. The ball follows him around the field as well,
Yeah.
and he does get plenty of opportunities with the bat if required. So I don't mind that at all.
So, boys, we've got Rabada, Bolt, Shahar. We will need to drop a batsman or an all-rounder if we want Rashid Khan.
Let's
As you
not do
said,
that. Let's chase the runs,
No.
I reckon.
okay,
Yeah.
let's lock that
Okay.
lineup in. So we currently have Butler, Rickerton, Sudhasan, Gill, Varma, Jacks, Santner, Pandya, Shahar, Rabada, and Bolt. Now, boys, we need to go to our captains. And this is where we can find a bit of an edge on rivals because this is where you find a lot of gun cricketers and they're very low. Dooley, I'll throw to you first. Vice captain, captain, what are you feeling?
Oh gosh, vice captain. You want someone that's going to do a bit of both. Do we look at? I don't think we can look at Jax, Varma. I mean, do you just want to stick with the skipper of Gujarat and Gill for the runs? I'm interested on Max's thoughts on this. Really, I don't know whether we go all rounders. Do we go with Hardick's going to take the new ball? He's going to be involved. I'm a bit torn on captaincy and vice captaincy on this one. Maxi might have some better thoughts.
Yeah, look, I think for me, chucking the VC on Hardick seems good. Busy cricketer, going to increase the amount of points he gets. He's going to pick up catches, hopefully wickets, and a couple of low order runs. So I think that's a good strategy, just getting that guy who's busy in the game. I think with your skipper, you've got to take a punt, right? Because if you get this right, this is what's going to send you to the top of the leaderboard. And I love Gill. I love Gill. He was my tip in the Champions Trophy for the leading run scorer, and he started strongly with a ton. Didn't go on with it, which was a shame for my bet, but that's fine. I think the Gujarat Titans skipper, Shubman Gill, he's my vote.
Okay, yeah. So we just go with the skippers.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
so.
Smart
And I think
cricket, some would say.
I think for anyone out there who wants to consider that late minute switch as well, if you can find a batter in the second innings, that could be, with that due factor, good ground for chasing, that might change your choice there.
Alrighty, Shubman Gill, skipper at 18.27% selection. So not too bad there, boys. He's not too high, but the one I really like, Pandya at 4.95% selection as vice captain. So let's lock in that team. And with that, let's move on to our next preview. And we move across to Delhi versus SRH, the Sunrisers. Dooley, straight to you, mate. Delhi, what are we looking like for the lineup?
Yeah, well, their last game, it'll be very similar again because coming off a win. Fraser McGurk failed, but he'll continue with Faf at the top. Abhishek Parel, Samir Rizvi, Akshar Patel, Tristan Stubbs, Ashutosh. What a champion. What an innings that was from Ashutosh Sharma, one of the stars of last year, back in it this year. Vipaj Nigam, who also had a very good time of it. Stark, Kuldeep, Mohit Sharma was how they went the other day, and Siddharth came in as their replacement. Sorry, no, it was for the other side. Their replacement when they bowled, they used Mukesh Kumar when they bowled. So it'll be a very similar 12, I think, for them.
Far out. What a polarising top of the order. Faf du Plessis and Jake Fraser McGurk.
Yeah.
Seriously. Dooley, what about for the Sunrisers? What are you expecting there?
Yeah, well, they've just come off a game. They've played two already, haven't they? So Head and Abhishek, we're calling them Travishek now. They've got a new name at the top of the order. They are Travishek. They'll be at the top with Ishan Kishan, 100 in the first one, failure in the second one for him. Nitish Kumar Reddy, Heinrich Klaassen, Anikit Verma, Abhinav Manohar, Cummins, Harshal Patel, Mohammad Shami, Simarjeet, and Adam Zampa will be a very similar lineup for them as well, I think, coming off a win in the first one and then a loss in their second game.
Geez, big Australian flavour to this one, which
Yeah.
excites me with the local knowledge there. Alrighty, and what about the deck expectations in this one, Dooley?
Yeah, well, this to me, this one, I mean, the first game, it was okay. 209 scored and chased down. We had a massive score at this ground last year. KKR scored 270 something in a game here last year. I think it was 272. KKR scored at this ground. So, look, it's a relatively high scoring ground, a reasonably good pitch, quite short sideways, only 62 each side, so quite short sideways. Spinners have a little more trouble there, but a fairly flat deck. You're looking at runs and more runs again. Something over that 200 mark, I think, is absolutely required in the first innings.
Yep. So once again, which will be a common theme across these podcasts, across the IPL, a lot of bat-friendly wickets. We'll probably be favouring the batsmen here a little more than we have in the past on these previews. Maxi, what about the stats that matter? What have you found for us?
Thanks, Tim. I've got 4 for you from this encounter between the Capitals and the Sunrisers, my team. The first one, 28. Now, this one really jumped off the page for me. And that was the bowling figures for Tristan Stubbs. And you sort of think, none for 28. Okay, that's not too bad, but that was only off 1 over. He got absolutely smacked. And I looked into this more, and what I found out about Tristan Stubbs was that the IPL is actually the only tournament in the world where he rolls the arm over. He's never bowled a single delivery in his home tournament in South Africa. He's never bowled a single delivery in the Caribbean Premier League. But for some reason, he puts on that IPL jersey, he comes over here, and not only does he bowl, but he takes wickets as well. His strike rate is just 7.5. So when you talk about trying to find a little bit of all-rounders, that extra wicket bonus, he's a man with a golden arm, Tristan Stubbs, and as bad as he went in that first game, he's certainly caught my attention when it comes to players that I'm interested in. The next number, 231, and that is the career strike rate in the IPL of Jake Fraser McGurk. And we know what he did last year. He's earned the big price tag, but in contrast, his career strike rate in the BBL is just 127. That shows how much of an anomaly last year was. And many are writing him off, including, I think, this podcast host. But there is a decent pedigree there if you're willing to go with the numbers. The next one, 266, which is the amount of runs that Sunrisers scored in this fixture last year. And of course, we know season to season, there's a lot of changeover and turnover in these teams, but something that hasn't changed at the top of that order, so responsible for that score, is one of our favourite Aussies, Travis Head. He plundered 89 of just 32 deliveries the last time the Sunrisers played the Capitals, and he certainly got my attention as well when it comes to the players that I want to pick later. Could even potentially pick up the captain's armband if I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. And the final number, 21.4, which is his opening partner, Abhishek Sharma's bowling strike rate in T20s. Certainly more in the part-time variety with his left-arm orthodox spin. But this is a man who, in a single game in February against England at a T20, scored 135 runs with the bat and then came and took 2 for 3 with the ball. So again, we talk about picking up those little wicket-taking bonuses and economies. Abhishek Sharma, could we pick both Travishek? I'm certainly interested. So they are the stats that matter.
Oh, absolutely we can, mate. Love those Max and Jake Fraser McGurk. It chills down the spine for good and for bad every time I hear that name. Boys, let's get into our team predictions, starting at the wicketkeepers. And Heinrich Klaassen at 79% selection. He's at 9 crore. Rahul, he's at 22% at 9 crore. Kishan, he's at 82% selection at 8.5. And Perel at 16% at 6.5 crore. Dooley, who do we like here?
Well, I mean, I think our man will be back, KL, after having a baby. Missed the first game because he had a wee baby. So I think he'll be back. Will he be back in keeping? Possibly. If he is, could we have him? Yes, we could. And Klaassen's the other one I'd sort of look at.
Maxi?
Yeah, I'm very surprised there, Dools, that you didn't mention the man with the name that sounds like IKEA furniture in Ishan Kishan. After that massive ton in the first game, and particularly if you follow the form line, big ton in the first game, failure in the second, it just means he's due in game 3. He's of course he's going to be popular, and his ownership reflects that. I think it's 82.67 as we speak, but I really like Kishan. Looks like he's locked down that number 3 spot for the Sunrisers. So if he's selected, I'd be very interested in having a look there.
Dooley?
Yeah, no problem with that at all. I was all over him in game number 1 as far as selecting and talking about him on our show in India. So I got a lot of time for him. I think the change of scenery has done him the world of good. And I think under Dan Vittori and Pat Cummins and the lads there at Sunrisers, I think he'll be a little bit calmer and have a far better season for it than he did last year. And that shambles that was Mumbai Indians set up last year.
Alrighty, let's lock in 3 wicketkeeper batsmen for now. Might mean we need to go slightly lighter on the batsman, but we'll see. We'll see what the options are, and we can always come back to it as well and sack someone if need be. In the batting department, we've got Faf du Plessis at 83% selection at 8.5 crore. Stubbs was there at 51%. Sharma, 47%. Jake Fraser McGurk, boys, I'm pulling rein here myself. JFM is not coming into our team until we see something. We're riding against him. I love the bloke. He's one of the most exciting players in world cricket. He will not be in my team until he shows some consistency and shows a bit of temperament. But until then, he's out. So don't even talk about him. Dooley, who do we like in the batting ranks?
Well, we've got 3 high-quality batters already if we're looking at the keepers. The only sort of other one I thought about was Tristan Stubbs, and Maxi mentioned him. Maxi's obviously got a bit of time for him, can offer you some overs with the ball. He's the only other one I sort of looked at and thought, he's kind of almost a must-have.
And the other one I forgot to mention there, sorry, I needed to scroll back up a bit, Maxi, but Travis Head obviously at 93%. So Stubbs for Dooley. Maxi, who do you like here?
It's so hard to go against Travis Head when he's just doing it time and time again with ease at the top of the order. So I think we've got to pick the man from Tea Tree Gully in South Australia. Abhishek as well. hasn't necessarily had his moment yet in this tournament, but that just means that, again, he's due, much like we said about Ishan Kishan. So he's someone I would be potentially interested in. If we were to get rid of one of the keepers, I would look his way. This Sunrisers team, they're just a run-scoring machine. So leaning their way makes me happy.
Dooley, would you sack any of our wicketkeeper bats for Sharma? I think we've got like a bit of a tier here. We've got God tier, which is Dooley, who's our overlord. We've got Maxi, who's a genius with an incredible cricketing IQ. And then we've got your humble podcast host who doesn't know as much as his co-host, but he does have the power and he does have the team in his hands. So he can pull rein when needed. What are your thoughts, Dooley?
Well, I thought when Maxie was talking earlier, I thought we'd sort of basically locked in Travis Sheck. So that's why I didn't even mention them. I thought we had Travis Sheck at the top when Maxie was talking earlier. So that
Too
was
easy.
I thought they were a lock. And then we
right.
threw a couple of keepers in, and I was just talking Stubbs because I thought we already had about 4 or 5 guys at the top.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. We've got 6 batsmen between the wicketkeeper and batting ranks. We've gone a bit heavy there, but we can always come back and sack someone if need be. All-rounders and then into bowlers. Boys, Patel at 90% at 9 crore. We've got Nitesh Reddy's at 80% at 8 crore. What are our thoughts here?
Nitish Reddy, absolutely. I think he's he's a genuine all rounder. I like him. So he's in there. And Akshar, I'm a massive fan of Akshar Patel. I think he's a must in any of my teams at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Maxi?
I can't argue with any of that. I mean, Nitish Reddy showed us during the Test series that his batting is probably better than his bowling in many respects, and I think his position in the order really reflects the opinion that the Sunrisers had of him. And Akshar Patel, Timmy already. He's basically my favourite cricketer from India, and has been for years. That bowling action just gets me going as a tall man myself. So we've got to pick him just for the vibes, if not anything else.
Yeah, and Abhishek we can get in that all-rounder slot. So we slot him and Patel in there. And then in terms of bowlers, boys, your Doves at 61%, Mitchell Stark at 86% selection, Paddy Cummins 55, Shami 27, Patel 31, Adam Zampa at 4%. Ooh, we like him as a little bit of point of difference. Dooley, which bowlers we've got 4 slots to fill?
How many slots have we got left? Because I've got 4 bowlers written down here. I mean, Cummins, I'm sort of a little bit betwixt and between on Harshal Patel, because he bowls all the tough overs at the back end. He's always going to pick up wickets at the back end for you. And those guys that bowl sort of 16, 18, 20, 17 and 19, they're the guys that take wickets for you all the time. So I got him. Kuldeep, I put down. I love Kuldeep. I think he's going to pick up wickets in most games. And Vignesh Putur. We might get him at a cheap price. Vignesh Putur, 3 for 32. They unearthed him in the first game, and just keep an eye out for this fella throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I like it. Maxi, what are your thoughts there? So, does the Aussie buyers come into it with a few of these blokes? What are you thinking?
It's very tough, isn't it? Because you know that on any day, any of these guys could be hit for 70 off their 4 overs, which is going to equate to many points. But just a couple of things that sort of jumped out of my attention, and Douls, I think that you're the bowler in this conversation, so I'm always happy to defer to you. But Cummins the other night for Sunrisers came out to bat. He faced 4 deliveries and 3 of them went over the fence. So he's very capable with the stick. I don't think Australians really realise as well just how fantastic his batting record is in the IPL. For a stage there, I think he might have had like the second fastest 50 in IPL history, just behind another bowler, Sunil Narine, of all people. The smoky and on ownership that I'd just love to mention is Zampa. He was the impact sub in game 1. He's allowing Travis Head to put his feet up, which I'm sure that he's very appreciative of. But Zamp's one of those guys who's got a sneaky good IPL record when you really dive into the numbers. And year after year, he's overlooked in the auction because teams like picking the local spinners. They like picking spinners out of club cricket, essentially, for that mystery factor and just seeing if they can sneak a few cheap overs here or there. But at 4.2%, if Zampa is to get in the game for Sunrisers Hyderabad, he's a man who can attack the stumps, take wickets, real point of difference that I think people are overlooking. So just something to think about. But geez, Douls, you make a compelling case for all the men that you mentioned as well.
I love Adam Zampa. I think Adam Zampa's been one of the best white ball spinners in the last 5, 6, 7 years. He very rarely leaves the stumps. His record, I think he's mid 30% of deliveries either hitting the pads or the stumps. So I've got a lot of time for Adam Zampa. Have no issue with it. Such a low ownership. It's a really good risk to take for
Mm.
me. So I have no issue throwing him in there. I'll give you
Four
one
percent.
Aussie. You can have Zampa or Cummins. Who do you want?
Oof, that's a tough one. Let's go Zamps, I reckon. Let's go Zamps.
Yeah. Zampa at 4% selection. So we've got Yadav, Patel, Zampa. We need one more, Dooley. Who are we throwing in?
Oh, have we got Harshal or have we got a left armour? Who do we want?
Do we
What
throw
about
Who do you
Stark
want,
Stark?
in or
Maxie? Come
not?
on. Who do you want? You want
Actually,
Stark? I mean, Wicket's up top, Wicket's at the
Yeah,
back end. Don't mind
I,
that at all.
I like Stark. I mean, we've seen what he's done in the tournament so far, and again, he's a stump destroyer,
Yeah,
and he's going to pick up those late wickets as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the guys that bowl the overs at the back because they're always. I mean, that's why I mentioned Harshal Patel because he bowls those last few overs. Stark's the same. You're going to pick up wickets. Might go for some runs, but he's going to get wickets. So happy to go with Zampa and Stark.
yeah, we love the bowlers
Give
at the
you
death
Aussies a
order.
little something.
Give us
Yeah,
a crumb.
yeah. Thanks, Dooley. All right, boys. That makes our team: Kishan, Klassen, Rahul, Head, Stubbs, Sharma, Patel, Stark, Patel, Yadav, and Zampa. And what about our all-important captains, Dooley? Who do we like here?
Oh God, I'm going to throw to Maxi on the Travis Head one here. I mean, you just can't look past him. Travis Head is the captain of our team. Maxi, who's our vice captain?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very very happy with that deduction. I'm going to go. Like, why not throw it to his opening? Or actually, what's Zampa's VC percentage?
It'll be
Oh,
zero. So he's 0.04 captain, 0.11 vice captain.
Yeah, I reckon let's do that. Someone
go on.
really, really sneaky. And again, please, if this is Aussie bias, let us know in the comments. But I love the ownership, and I love it just because it could be really, really sneaky. And you just know that if Travis Head get going, there's a target of 250 on the board. He's
Mm,
every chance of taking a bag in the second innings. So yeah,
yeah, slide into the comments and give the Aussies a bagging. Go on, just do it. That's all I'm saying. Just do it.
Mate, half our squad from across the two games are Kiwis and Aussies, so it's not Australians' fault we've got so many representatives over there because they're so good at cricket. Far out. All right, boys, that will do us for the preview show for the IPL Dream11 contest this week. We'll be back again next week doing numerous shows and across the duration of the tournament. So, Dooley, thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Good luck.
Maxie, thank you, mate.
thanks, Jules, and thank you to all the listeners out there as well.
Cheers, guys. Good luck in your contests.